the people mention more turbos and superchargers in diesel in comparison with gasoline? Why is more popular in diesel engines the turbos and the superchargers in comparison with gasoline and other engines?
Keep more air into the system.
Correct.
Somehow.
Because the diesel engines are designed to allow more air in the cylinder. And you know that the diesel engine, the compression is higher. When the diesel engine, when the piston is going down during the intake, suction a lot of air because the seal is perfect in the combustion chamber. No? And you know that the stoichiometric ratio in diesel is higher, is superior in comparison with gasoline. You remember? 14.7 to 1 in gasoline in comparison with 70 to 1 or 160 to 1 in diesel. Oh, this is a lot, no? 15 parts of air per 1 part of fuel in gasoline in comparison with 160 parts of air per the same 1 part of fuel in diesel. Which one burns more air? Diesel or gas? Diesel. And you know what is the efficiency of the engine? The efficiency of the engine depends on the amount of air that the engine burns. Oh, the diesel engine burns 3 times, 4 times, 5 times the amount of air in comparison with the gasoline. This is why the diesel is more efficient than a gasoline engine. You understand? Okay. How can I burn more air in a diesel engine? Oh, if you try to introduce more air during the intake. How can I introduce more air? With the turbo or with the blower? Any type of blower, electrical blower, mechanical, electronic. You introduce more air when the piston is going down, suction the normal air, the ambient atmospheric pressure air, plus the other one. What is the name of the extra air? Boost pressure, no? It's the boost air. If you have the atmospheric plus the boost pressure, you have more air. If additionally, when the valve closes, you compress that amount of air, it's a lot. The explosion is 1 time bigger, or 2 times, or 3 times. It's a lot of times higher in comparison with the naturally aspirated. This is the diesel engine. And what is the secret to introduce more amount of extra air? What is the secret to improve that extra amount of air? Nobody mentioned that. Let me explain something. I have this room, plenty of engines, motors, batteries, cranes. I want to locate 6 more engines in this room. And you say, no, Mr. Lopez, probably we need to remove this, and this in the garbage. And now we have a space, we have room for more engines. Because you don't have a space for more engines. That room is full. I need to clean a little this room to enter more material. No? I need clean. Exactly. What is the idea? What happens if the explosion in my diesel engine is not complete? What is the meaning of that? It's incomplete combustion. What is the meaning of that? A lot of gases stay over there. What happens when the fresh air from the turbo or supercharger try to enter? You have a space for the fresh air? No, because half of the cylinder is occupied for gases, for smoke. When the fresh air enters, is efficient? No, because the fresh air is mixed with bad gases. And now the explosion is perfect or is a poor explosion? Poor explosion. You know? Yeah. Now I understand. The secret is, after the explosion, clean the combustion chamber first. If the combustion chamber is clean, the fresh air enters and fill the cylinder completely. And now I have a new explosion. Perfect. What is the name of that process of cleaning? Scavenging. Scavenging. Scavenging is the process of remove the previous gases from the previous explosion completely. And after that, when the valve close and I introduce the new air, fresh air, that's perfect. That's scavenging. And this is why in diesel engines, scavenging is important. It's mandatory. Especially if the engine is supercharged or turbocharged. If the engine is charged, you need a perfect scavenging process. You need to keep the combustion chamber clean. If not, you can try to introduce more air, but the air entering is mixed with all gases and the explosion is not good. What is the meaning of incomplete combustion? Correct. Is when the explosion after the explosion you have gases, nitrous gases, carbonic gases, sulfur, phosphorus, and those gases are oxides. Oxide of sulfur, oxide of carbon, oxide of phosphorus, oxide of nitrous. What happens when those oxides are mixed outside in the exhaust pipe with water? Sulfuric acid, carbonic acid, nitric acid, catastrophic acid. And what happens with those acids in the environment? Kaboom! Acid. Can you imagine that your diesel engine produces each hour 1 liter of sulfuric acid in the ocean and 2 liters of carbonic acid in the ocean? Because the combustion in that engine is not complete. Because the combustion in that engine is incomplete. And those gases mixed with the water produce acid. That's good, my friend. That's not good. How can I reduce the maximum those incomplete gases, those nitrous, those carbonic, those sulfur, those phosphoric acids? How can I reduce that? Why I have excess of sulfur oxide, excess of phosphoric oxide, excess of carbon oxide? Where are coming those oxides? Excuse me? Because the fuel have a lot of sulfur, a lot of phosphorus, a lot of carbon, a lot of nitrous. It's because the fuel is not the best. It's because the fuel is a bad fuel. It's a contaminated fuel. You remember in the previous chapter about the biodiesel? You remember how you reduce the amount of sulfur, carbon, all of those with biodiesel? It's practically zero sulfur. Wow! You reduce the carbon around 78%. You remember that table in the book? How much you reduce those oxides? It's a lot. Depend of the fuel. Depend of the quality of the fuel. What about the quality of the fuel in America, in the United States? Is acceptable? How many parts per million? Less than 200 parts per million. What about the quality of the fuel in some countries of Europe? It's good. What about the quality of the fuel in the Caribbean? 3,000 parts per million of sulfur, a lot of parts per million of carbon. It's a lot of parts. And what is the symptom when I run my engines with that fuel? Black smoke and a lot of acid in the environment. And of course, my fuel filter is completely clogged, and I have water in the water separator filter. It's a lot of inconvenience. It's basically because the fuel is bad fuel. It's simple, no? Okay. Number one, I can reduce those amount of oxide with a good fuel. Number one, good fuel. The second one, how can I reduce those amount of oxide, bad oxide, with a perfect tune-up, with a perfect synchronization of the engine. The valve closed in the moment, open in the moment, and the compression is perfect, good compression. Wait, this is important. With a good service in the engine, the oil is always clean. No, exactly. Good filter, good service. Other important thing, how can I keep a good compression in my diesel engine? What is the secret number one? How can I keep a good compression for a long period of years? Good lubrication, number one. Good air filters and fuel filters. And service, calibrate the valves periodically. How many captains, how many engineers are organized with the logbook in order to calibrate the valve? Practically nothing. Hey, my friend, this is the service for how many? Oh, this is the service for 1500 hours. It supposes that in the previous service you calibrate valve. You did? Oh, no, I never calibrate valve. You only change oil. This is not service. You never calibrate the valve? Never. You never remove the injector? You never send the injector to the matching shop to calibrate the pressure of the injector? You remember? No, never. You never remove the fuel injection pump to calibrate the fuel injection pump, the output pressure? No, never. You never take a sample of oil and send to the laboratory to analyze the oil? No, never. You never take a sample of coolant? No. You never remove the heat exchanger to clean and flush the heat exchanger? What type of service you do in your diesel engine? Only change oil and air filter and fuel filter. This is not a service.